Hello, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. I'm just checking my settings here to make sure that I'm live in the right spot. I just messed something up, so bear with me a second. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm just going to see if I can see comments on my phone, because that might help. So if you're watching live, let me know, leave me a comment and let me know that you're here. No, it's not gonna work on my phone. It's always something new. Always something to figure out. Okay, so hopefully everything is good to go and we'll get started. So tonight I thought we would do something fun, a little different. So before we get into that, my name is Jenna Moore and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, Canada. And if you're new to my page, every Sunday I go live on my Facebook page at 7:30 and I share with you new products, a new project that I'm working on in my craft room, or I share with you a technique. And so it's just a fun way for me to interact with you and show you what I've been up to. So tonight we're actually going to look at something that I was working on yesterday. So if you were watching my social media post yesterday, I was at a full day crop, which was a lot of fun. I got a lot of projects done, of course, not as many as I had planned out, which is always the case. You always think there's going to be all this time, and then the time goes by so fast. So one of the things I was working on were Christmas ornaments. So I'm going to show you tonight how to use your stamp sets and create Christmas ornaments. And I've got two different materials that I'm going to show you how to use for Christmas ornaments, and a couple of other products that I'm going to pull in to work on those ornaments. Hi Kelly, I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. So let's get started. I'm going to flip the camera or flip the view here, and I'm going to show you a couple things before we get started. So first thing, you have until November the 10th to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin if you are interested in November's Paper Pumpkin kit. This kit is called Gifts Galore. It will be 9 treat boxes with food safe bags. So this will be a fun project if you have kids in your family, or you need to make treat bags for a special winter or Christmas occasion. This would be a fun kit to create. So there'll be 3 different characters in the treat bags, and it comes in this fun collectible box, and you're getting an exclusive stamp set and a Flirty Flamingo classic Stampin' Spot, which is your ink color. So if you're interested, you can visit this website and subscribe. If you have any questions about the Paper Pumpkin subscription, just let me know, send me a message. Then I do have the rest of the classes for the rest of the year posted on my events page. The Stamp-A-Stack class that is happening November 19th is officially sold out, so I do have a couple of other classes available. This is the online class, so if you are not able to attend an in-person class, I do a monthly online class where you get the supplies for the cards. It's focused on one bundle, so this month is focused on Penguin Place. You're getting $25 of consumable products, and so your card supplies and the products are $40. The video for the class comes out the last week of the month. It will be ready before the last Friday of the month. If you need the Penguin Place bundle, which is currently still on back order, it should be in the middle of this month. But if you purchase the bundle with me, your card supplies are free. So you're getting the bundle and the $25 in product, and your card supplies are free. So the last day to sign up for this class is November the 12th, so that's coming up soon. And then I have also added a specialty beginner class. This is my coffee and cards, and we're going to do Christmas cards for this one. So I've given 2 different dates because I figure some timing will work better for some people. So there'll be 2 options available, either Friday, December the 3rd from 6 to 9 p.m. or Sunday, December 5th from 1 to 4 p.m. And at this class, we'll be creating simple, beautiful cards. So starting with the basics. So if you've never made cards before, this is the class that you want to attend. We're going to go all through the basics. And there will be various card selections available. So you can choose as little or as many cards as you want to make, and the price will be dependent on how many cards you end up making. And if you bring a friend to the class with you, you will both receive $5 off of your class. So if you're interested in this class, let me know. And then I also have the specialty class set for December, which is the first Thursday of the month. That will be a mini calendar class. The last date to sign up for that one, just checking my calendar, is November 18th. So I'll have some more information about that. You can check out my website, or you can check out the events tab on Facebook to see all of the class details. So let's get started with the ornaments. I'm going to show you what I was working on yesterday. So if you saw my post, I was stamping on ceramic blanks to create Christmas ornaments. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. Now these are items that I make every year. I've been probably making them for maybe 5 years, I would say. These are my favorite materials to work with. These are unsealed ceramic blanks. I did check Michael's online today. So if you're in Canada, I was checking out the Canadian website. They have all sorts of DIY ornament blanks that you can choose from. So not to say that your blanks have to be these ones. These are ones I actually purchased from the States, only because when I first found out about stamping on ceramics, this was the vendor that was recommended. So having said that, you can choose local. There's lots of blanks available on michaels.com or .ca, I guess, if we're in Canada. The other material that I often use are Birch Disks. So these are birch wood that are sliced, and you can get them local in London. I know, I'm not sure if the supplier I normally purchase from has their birch wood available yet, but these blanks I purchased on Etsy, and they come from the east coast of Canada, and actually shipped fairly quickly. So wood discs are something that you can also use to stamp on. So I'm going to show you these. I should mention these should have holes in them, but I haven't got my husband to cut the holes in them. In the ceramic blanks and most of the DIY ones, you will have the holes cut out, and I just use jute or some rope or something to tie those up. You can also use ribbon, so depending on what look I'm going for. Usually with the wood, I choose jute, and if I'm using the ceramics, then I use some of our Stampin' Up! Ribbon to tie through. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple. Oh, I have this one too. So this is another one. So I'm going to show you how I made this one, and I'm also going to show you this one tonight. And put these aside. So I'm going to start with the penguin. And the key to stamping on wood or the ceramic is the Stazon ink. I've used other inks, and I find that if you want a crisp dark black on your ornament, you really do need Stazon. I find the Memento goes kind of gray on the ceramic because it's very porous, so it does soak up the ink fairly well. So if you're looking for a dark black, and I try to use mostly black on the ornaments so that they stand out. So you're going to want Stazon ink. This is something that Stampin' Up! Carries. You do also want to consider that you want the Stazon cleaner as well. This is a special cleaner that is different than the Stampin' Mist that you would use on the Stampin' Scrubber. Because the Stazon ink is more of a permanent ink, you do need the special cleaner to clean it off of your stamps. And then I will also be using our water-based ink. So I've pulled a couple of colors, and any of the colored ink here, that's our regular ink. So it does actually turn out well, but it does become lighter on the ceramic. And then on the wood, I've actually colored in the deer with Stampin' Blends. So you can use Stampin' Blends on the ceramics. I don't have any in front of me with the blends, but they actually work really well on the ceramic. So if you choose a ceramic blank, you can definitely use your Stampin' Blends on there, and as you can see, use the Stazon ink to outline and then color them with the blends. Okay, so we are using 2 different stamp sets tonight. So I've pulled out the Penguin Place. This is the one that's featured in this month's online class. It has a bunch of cute little features in this stamp set. I love how you can dress up your penguin. So there's a scarf and a hat. I chose the antlers because I thought those were super cute. But you could put, this is his ice bucket or fishing bucket, a present, and a tree, and then all the little features at the bottom here. So I've grabbed some of those out. So the thing I find with the ornaments is placement is key, because you don't want to be too far at the top where your hole is, and you don't want the majority of your images going off of the ornament. So it's kind of tricky that way, I would say. And the other tricky thing is you only have one chance to do this right. So unlike a piece of paper that has 2 sides, and you can always flip it over if you make a mistake, once the ink is down on the blank, there is no way to remove it. So if there's a mess up, then you have to commit. So I've got an extra ceramic disc here just in case that happens. I will say that it's happened a few times. So I have the penguin body here that I'm inking up in the Stazon, and I'm actually going to stamp it right close to the bottom, hopefully in the middle. And you're going to use firm pressure. And normally in card making, I would say don't rock your block. You want to press down and come back up, but I find with the ornaments you do have to kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle. So you can see with that Stazon, you get such a clear black dark image. So this is really a game changer when it comes to working with ceramics or woods. Anything other than paper where you need a strong permanent finish, you want the Stazon ink. And actually, while we're here, did I grab, oh, I grabbed the wrong sentiment here. So I liked for this one, I chose the sentiment that says, be cool, be chill, be merry. I'll just mount that on my stamp here, or on my block. And then I'm going to use the Stazon black. Make sure that it's all inked up. And then I'm going to put this close near the top. And again, I'm making sure that all parts of the stamp are making contact. Okay, so there we go. So to clean off these stamps, you're going to take the cleaner, you're going to roll it on the stamp, and then I use the Stampin' Scrub. So if you're not familiar with this, this is our cleaning pad, and I just scrub it on the dry side. Okay, so it's not hard to clean it off, you just do need that special cleaner to get it off. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp with our regular ink. So I'm going to start with his little antlers here, and I'm using soft suede for the antlers. And here we go. Here's his little antlers. stamp that up. And then the nice thing about having the photopolymer is that I can line this up fairly easily on top of his head. I just think he looks super cute with those antlers. And then I'm going to put his face and his feet on. And so for this, what I like to do is I like to line up the stamps on the penguin at least the first time. So you can put 2 of these on at once. This might be, you might call this lazy, but I call it efficient. I'm going to put them both on there. This is a great thing about having clear blocks, is that you can stamp position them. And I'm using crushed curry for the feet and the beak, which is darker. Here I used So Saffron. So I actually like the darker yellow. I'm going to line up his beak at the top. And there's his feet. And then the last part I'm going to do, I wanted to fill in some of this white space. So I thought I would use the snowflakes that are in this set here. And I'm using Misty Moonlight, which is one of our in colors. It's a beautiful, almost like a denim blue. I'm going to ink those up. And I'm just going to put some on either side. And there we go. Now you could use this not only for an ornament, but you could use it as a gift tag. That would be a fun little gift to, or topper to add to a gift. I usually don't seal my ceramic ornaments. You could find a ceramic sealer, probably in a spray paint. I have tried Mod Podge, and I wouldn't suggest that using a brush, because you end up with the brush strokes and it really takes away from your ornament. But I just leave them unsealed just like this and add the ribbon and away you go. So that's the penguin one. And now I'll show you the stamping on the wood. So I've got a birch blank here. You want to make sure that the surface is smooth, because it's really hard to stamp on it if the wood is not smooth. So if you need to sand your blank before you get started, then you want to do that. And of course, all the blanks usually come without a hole. I think you can get some on Amazon. They're quite a bit smaller though. So if you're looking at Amazon, just make sure to check your measurements, because you want to make sure that you have a big enough surface. I'm going to measure this one. So this is about 2 5/8 in diameter. So you want something at least, I would say, 2 inches across to be able to stamp on it. So for this one, I have chosen the Peaceful Deer stamp set, and I'm using the deer outlined here. Now this stamp does coordinate with a punch, which is nice for doing greeting cards. Of course, we won't have that issue here. And again, I'm going to use the Stazon ink to do the outline of the deer. And just make sure that's all inked up. And you kind of want to plan where you're going to do your stamping. So I kind of want the deer a little bit to the left, because I want to make sure I have enough room for my greeting. So again, making sure I've got firm pressure. And there we go. Nice little outline. And we'll color him in after. But first I'm going to do the sentiment. So I have chosen the Merry Christmas stamp out of this set. And as you can see, I've kind of broken up this stamp. I didn't physically cut my stamp. However, you could do that if you're brave. I try not to. And so in this case, what I like to do, just to be safe, is only put half of the stamp on the block at a time. I find this keeps me out of trouble. So I've got it wrapped around this side. It's probably not going to stick, but I've just got Christmas on the block there, and I'm going to ever so slightly just ink up that one stamp. And I'm going to put that just above his tail and lift. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Mary. Now I haven't cleaned this off, so I'm just going to put it on the top of this here. And then I'm picking up only the Mary. For time's sake, I'm not cleaning off the stamps, but probably if you were doing this in your own craft room, I would say, yeah, I'm going to have to say, clean off the stamp first. Because otherwise it's just going to get too messy over here. Okay. Clean that off. Clean off my block. And then put the Mary back on. Hopefully this will stick. Okay, so inking up only the Mary. And then fold this back here. And then I'm going to stamp that over top. Okay, there we go. So that's how you can make one line of text into two. Okay, so now it's time to add some color. So the first thing I'm going to do is color in the deer. So I've got my Stampin Blends here. For this one, I've chosen light crumb cake. And I will say, when you're choosing your blends to color on the ornaments, I would only use the light. I wouldn't use the dark, because when you're coloring on the wood, the color of the marker tends to go darker anyways. So if you start with your dark markers, you might find that it's too dark. I actually was working on an ornament this afternoon, and I used the dark one by accident and found that it was way too dark. So I'm using the fine tip on here because this deer has quite a bit of detail. So I'm just sort of painting him and trying not to leave brush marks. Okay, so you're just going to go around with the light markers. Hopefully this won't be too painful to watch. And really remember, you can choose any image that you have in your craft stash, anything that will fit on an ornament. Usually things that have an outline that you can color in, or that have nice bright images, like the penguin with the they're kind of very bold images is the word I'm looking for. And you can really test these. So I would recommend, if you're testing what an ornament's going to look like, I would do it on paper first, maybe on your grid paper, and kind of map out how you want the ornament to look before you go and stamp on your wood. So you can see that there. You can see there's some color variation, so I do go back and kind of try to blend the color. With the blends, the color doesn't blend as well on wood, of course, as it does with paper. But you can actually go back and add some ink and clean up some of those spots. And once it dries, it actually looks quite nice. It changes a bit in color. Go back over his face. There we go. And then this is what it looks like. I'll have to zoom. What it looks like dried. So you can see it's the same color of marker. It's just once it dries, it will have sort of a softer look to it. So at this point, I'm going to stamp on the antlers, which I don't think I put on my block. Okay, so I'm going to do those in Stazon. And again, the nice thing about the photopolymer is I can line this up quite nicely. There. That really completes the look of the deer. Okay, So then what I want to do is add some trees, but I don't want to stamp over the deer. So what I've done is, for this one, is I've used a masking technique. So if you've never done masking, I'll show you quickly how it's done. So you're going to want a post-it note of some kind. I prefer the ones that are mostly have the sticky back on them. So these are specialty ones where instead of having the sticky part just on the top flap, it's sticky all over. And the reason I want that is because I want it to stick right on my deer. So, where did I put that deer stamp? Here he is. So, in this case, you don't have to use Stazon because this is paper. So I'm just using my Memento, and it doesn't matter where you stamp it. So you're going to stamp it on the paper, and then you're going to cut it out. So yes, we do have a deer punch that will punch this out, but you want to get right close to the lines, and the punch actually leaves a little bit of white space around the deer. So what I would suggest is that you take your paper snips and you're going to cut around your stamped image. This can be done with any image that you want to mask over. And so you would fussy cut all the way around. I was smart and kept my mask from my previous ornament. So once it's all cut out, what you want to do is lay it over your stamped image. And it is important to line up everything as best as you possibly can. And the nice thing about there being this stick on the whole post-it note is that I can get this right on here. Okay, so then I've got my tree image. This also comes from the Peaceful Deer. So I'm using this stamp actually here at the bottom with the 2 trees. And I'm using Old Olive ink. And I want the trees to look like they're behind the deer. So that's why I'm masking the deer and not the trees. So I'm going to go in and stamp right over top. And then one down here, right over that post-it note. Okay, now you could add more trees if you wanted to. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lift off the post-it note. And of course, you can continue to use this with future ones until it just becomes not sticky enough. So I'll zoom in here so you can see. So you can see that the deer looks like it's in the forefront of the image and the trees are behind. So that's what the masking does with this image, so that you don't have your stamping on stamping. You have a nice clean image here. So again, you would create the holes in the ornaments and then use some jute or some ribbon to tie them up. And with the wood, they would also make great tags for a Christmas gift, something a little different. These are a little more like they're natural material, so they're more rustic looking. So I hope that you enjoyed tonight's Sunday stamping, something a little different instead of paper crafting. So it just goes to show you that you can use stamps on all different types of material. If you have any questions about how you can use your stamps on other materials, please feel free to leave me a message and I'd be happy to help you out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening and hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday at 7:30. Take care. Bye now.